It's like a game show.
It's supposed to be close too. Just
Yeah.
going like this.
Brian, welcome to Delaware. Your dad's been here. This is your first trip to Delaware. Immediate impressions.
You know, I haven't really seen any of it. I landed and you picked me up from the airport and we went right to the hotel, and within 20 minutes
Started our
first event. It was pretty fun last night hanging out with you and your daughter, though. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, Greer had a blast. We got a good picture of you and her doing your first beer promo together,
Exactly.
The second generation. The neat thing about having you here is you're spending a lot of time flying right now between Chico and North Carolina. And as we walk the property here in Milton, we're in the midst of our expansion at the same time that you're basically doing a ground up, brand new brewery in North Carolina.
No, it was really fun walking through your brewery. It reminded me a lot when I was growing up of just constant construction.
In Chico.
You're trying to brew and trying to build all at the same time was pretty fun.
Yeah. What part of like this phase is most fun for you to work on?
Right now, the funnest thing is, it's been years worth of planning. So actually seeing a brick and mortar facility starting to go up is really amazing.
The whole Life and Limb sort of collaborative, initiative that Dogfish and Sierra are doing together kind of started with me spending time with your dad on the BA board, and he being a mentor for me as I asked questions about how you guys as a family company navigated the challenges that come with bringing your work home at night and how that affects your family, and then his hopes to see in that era you guys had not yet started working at the company, and then soon after you and Sierra started working at the company. And so he's been giving me a lot of great advice. It's up to my children to decide what they want to do, and you and I have talked about this a lot. But yeah, I'd love to see them carry on Dogfish as a family owned company. But I realize that comes with a lot of responsibility that's unique to the second generation. The first generation has their challenges, but there are no easier challenges to be the second generation, right?
No, I mean, that's a sort of the good and the bad thing about successful second generation companies is everyone stumbles when they're going through their business. It's when the company is smaller, the stumble is more at a walking pace, versus when you've had 30 years of successful business, you're at a full-out sprint run.
That hurts.
Yeah, when you hit your toe, it's serious road rash. It's going to happen, but
right.
It does give you the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, which is very unique to family business.
Yeah, when we did the first Life and Limb together, going back to the chats we started having, you and I, and my kids were a little too young to have them, but with Ken and Mariah, and talking about let's try and make a beer that kind of reflects the terroir of each of our breweries and combine them. So the first generation Life and Limb from Dogfish had maple syrup from my family farm where I grew up in Western Mass, where I met Mariah in high school. And then you guys, what'd you guys do on the first, the dark Life and Limb from the Grossman side?
So we have a small farm as well at the brewery. We grow roughly 9 acres of hops for a beer called our estate. We also grow roughly 30 acres of barley for that beer as well. And we actually put some of the Grossman family estate barley in Life and Limb. Basically, it was from our family to yours as well in the beer, and the consumers got the benefit of it.
So we've done 2 of those, and now with you guys coming to North Carolina to open a brewery on the East Coast, we thought it'd be a fun time to get back together and welcome you guys over to our coast and do something that again speaks of the terroir of our breweries, but perhaps is more in the wheelhouse of kind of what we're known for as brewers. And you guys are kind of, Sierra's the granddaddy of hop-forward breweries in America, whereas Dogfish is a little bit more off-centered and plays with different ingredients, but our IPAs are our best-selling beers. So the whole goal with this version of Life and Limb was to make a hop-centric beer that reflected the DNA of our company. So talking about what you guys are bringing to the new version of Rhizing Bind.
No, it's a unique and fun beer. You guys have pioneered new technology just like we have Rhizing Vines is obviously going to be with the Sofa King, which is
Good pronunciation of that,
the
Brian.
Sofa King, a proper pronunciation, which is the continuous hopping method, which is new and unique to Dogfish Head. We're going to do in the fermentation side of it, the torpedo. We're using two cool hops. We're using Bravo hops, which is a big badass bold flavored hop
From the Northwest,
from the
American
Northwest.
hop.
And then we're doing 644, which is a experimental hop, big
You guys
floral.
work directly with growers on this?
We worked with growers and got the, we do a lot of experimental hops, just trying to find what is the best thing, always trying to push forward, and develop new flavors and
What do you think,
profiles.
644, how would you describe the characteristics of that?
It's got good big floral notes on it, big fruit notes on it, almost tropical in essence. Delicious.
Delicious
Just
is
delicious.
a good word for it. What about torpedoes? Like the history of torpedoes, how did those come into use at Sierra, and was the beer called Torpedo the first one that used one of these?
So we use a lot of hops in our beers, and we are a pretty sustainable company. We try to be as sustainable as possible. And one day we were looking through our hop usage, and we were going through some of our dry hop bags, the traditional dry hop bag, which is like a giant pillowcase size tea bag full of hops that you hang in your fermenters. We were finding that the center of those tea bags, in essence, were still dry. So we were underutilizing the hop content we were putting in those fermenters. And we said there's got to be a better way of doing this. So actually my dad designed the first torpedo, which is an external unit that you recirculate your beer through to get the hop characteristic. Recirculating your beer through a torpedo gives you a little bit different flavor than a traditional dry hop method would. I find it a beneficial flavor, and right now Torpedo is the #1 selling IPA in the nation.
Is it really?
It's the #1 selling IPA in the nation right
Nice.
now.
And it's a brand that's only existed for how many of your 32 years?
Just a few years now.
That's pretty
it's not
incredible.
been
And
out
it's your
all that
second
long.
best-selling beer
It's our
behind.
second best-selling beer behind our pale ale.
And now how many
Call
of
it
these things are in use if it's your second best-selling brand?
Tons.
Tons of these things.
Tons of these things are in use, and we're in.
Are they expensive to build?
They're expensive to build, and they're sort of a pain, but it's worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
these are they're pretty big vessels, and you load them with a ton of hops, almost 100 pounds of hops in them, and you're wheeling them around through the cellar. They're a little bit awkward, but it's worth it. I mean, it's totally worth it. We're in the height of torpedo season right now, and I fully pissed everyone off at the brewery by sending a torpedo out here because Sally needs to be torpedoed, Torpedo needs to be torpedoed, Ruthless is coming up, which is torpedoed, and
So basically we got one rogue torpedo
You got
that
one
got
rogue.
sent to Delaware.
yeah, I got sent to Delaware.
I love it.
But doing things because it's right and fun is worth a little bit of extra work. So.
Which is also the other ingredients in this beer speak to that kind of labor of love, because it'd be a lot cheaper for us to just do a generic Pilsner malt, a generic darker malt for some color and complexity, but we kind of went back to kind of the creative route, and we said for this beer let's each contribute equally the two kind of branches of the Life and Limb project. And so we said we'll settle on one base malt, but let's each choose a unique specialty malt to bring to this. And from Dogfish, to welcome you to the Carolinas, we work closely with a really cool artisanal grain company called Anson Mills, and we asked them to send us a bunch of different samples of wheat, and we found this Red Fife heirloom winter wheat that we're using in this beer, and then maybe talk about the malt that you guys are bringing in this.
Yeah, we brought also our estate barley. We did a caramel roast on this barley, so it'll give it some nice color, nice body in it. We were tasting barleys this morning, and the difference between our barley and a mass-produced caramel barley, it was
Big difference.
very, very big difference.
Yours is grape nutty, sweet.
A little bit more back end on it, pretty bold.
Yeah.
The other barleys were a little bit flatter
Yeah.
of the note. I'm really excited about this beer with the high hop content and the wheat in there. We should get some very, very nice head retention, nice foam developed on this beer,
Yeah.
which is great with IPA styles. You get a lot of the aromatics from the hops that we're using out in the solution. It should be quite enjoyable.
Nice. Yep. And then of course the yeast as well. We're gonna have millions of our coworkers, our microscopic coworkers, are going to be partying together in the uni tanks.
As you've said before, the doggy Sierra yeast get it on.
They're going to get it on.
They're going to get it on
together.
No.
And what's neat is Rebecca, who runs our QC lab and works with Doggy all the time, our proprietary yeast came from Sierra Nevada,
Yep.
where she worked a lot with the Chico. So
She's familiar with it.
she's no stranger to getting these two together, which will be neat. So at any rate, this beer is going to be hoppier than 60 or 90 in terms of when it finished. It's going to be about, we think, 85 IBUs.
Roughly about around that ballpark.
And also about 85.
About 8.5
8.5
alcohol.
ABV. Coming at you through Dogfish Head's distributors, since it was brewed here. Of course, the first Life and Limb was brewed in Chico, so that came through your distribution network. But it'll be out with our 26-ish states of distribution sometime in February. So look for it. Can you point to yours? At the same time,
Look for it.
That's pretty good, right? That's some good marketing that we did. All right, cheers. And I drank more of my beer than you did.
Cheers. No, I drink more of my beer than you did.